All right, so let's talk about once you're in a trade, how do you manage the trade? What's your plan? First things first, you need to have a plan, right? We understand that if we get long right here above the high of this candle, we need to make sure that, where's our stop loss? Where's our target? Where do we think this can go? Looking at the chart right now, we know there's resistance here at the high of these candles, 50 right there. So through this 50 is a great spot to start to reverse. We just filled the gap on the QQQ here. And right now I am long looking for this push up. So let's talk about how I'm going to manage this trade now. I think there's a very good chance that we can push up here to the 980s. 980s should not be difficult to try to retest after closing the gap here and starting to push back up. Shorts finally getting exhausted. It's like 2 o'clock afternoon. I think there's good potential. My original stop was kind of like right in here before, but now that we're moving up here nicely, I would like to see a little bit of profit taking kind of in this level right here. So I'm going to take one off right there. Perfect. I'm locking in some profit. We're going exactly kind of where we were looking to go. We're going to put another target right there, another sell at the 83s. Now that we're breaking out, this is playing out perfectly. We had this little double bottom, a little bit of a fake out to the downside. Look at how we kind of trapped. We ran those stops down there, right? We ran those stops. We started to build some energy. The market starts to push back up, and look at this absolutely beautiful trade right now. I'm kind of speechless, honestly. This is happening in real time live right now. So I'm showing you guys how I'm going to manage this trade. And we're talking about that. So we had our entry. We've talked about the entries. Basically getting long once we break above those high of like the previous candle. Once I see my kind of breakout candle, I'm going to identify the high of that. And then I'm going to think about, okay, once we get through that, I'm going to look to get long. And as you see right now, we still have some contracts left. And we're looking for a push up. Our original target is this 80 level. So right now we're managing the trade. We're not getting greedy. We know that, on average 20, 30, 40 points, very consistent. You can get those types of moves in the market, especially with the NASDAQ right now being so volatile. So there's that push up to the 980s. At this point, I really want to make sure that I just don't go back below this, right? This is my original sell. This is where I first took my first profit right there. So what I'm doing is this is all just free money, right? I could even move this up a little bit, maybe take one more off. Now I've got 2 left. So I'm basically right where my original target, or not to say target, but my original take profit. So now I'm like pretty much guaranteeing like I can't lose, like basically less than what I would have made by then just taking profit here. But now I've been able to sell some into this push. So when the market's really strong and we have that momentum, you can get another 20, 30 points out of a move before really getting a pullback. And right now it's pulling back, which it happens. But that was our plan, right? We were looking for a push up here into the 80s. It might go now, but for the sake of this video purpose, you guys saw how I basically managed the trade with my entry. I had my target planned out. I had my stop loss, my exit, and an overall idea of why I believe this could push back up, right? We had this overall big move down, but we closed the gap here on the NASDAQ from the close back there in Tuesday. That was kind of a setup here with the QQQ as we filled that gap. So the gap was filled, and now I'm thinking that buyers could possibly start to come in here. Shorts would be taking profit. Like if I'm a big short and I have been holding short all day, let's say I've just been adding short. Like at this point, I'm thinking I'm probably taking profit, right? Like that's a great spot for me to take profit at. And that's exactly what I think is kind of happening right now. Some profit taken going into the end of the day here. A big move down. It's been red, and filling the gap there. Once we were into that gap zone, it was time to party. And like you guys saw, the trade worked out beautifully. We managed the trade. We had our stop loss. We had our plan. We had it all laid out there. And then we basically just let the market do what it's going to do. And it obviously pushed back up. Could it go higher from here? Maybe. But hey, sometimes it's just how it goes. We've had plenty of times where the market will reverse, and you get those, big runners like this move down. We shorted earlier that 19 1,200 area. Look at that huge move down there. So you're just managing the trade as the trade's working. You're trying to look and see, is everything doing what you want it to do? If you're looking at the market, is it following the trend? Are we putting in lower highs? Having a idea of what's going on, looking at the dollar, looking and being like, okay, everything's checking out. The more that you can like cross those boxes, keep crossing those boxes as you're in the trade, the better you're going to be able to hold on to that trade and have the patience to hold for a big winner, because you're like, hey, everything's playing out. Like, you're seeing everything as it's happening, or really before it's happening. So there's the pullback back to the 50s, NASDAQ back up there through the 80s again. So this is looking, like a great spot for the reversal. We had the gap fill, everything kind of lined up perfectly. And well, the NASDAQ pulling back into there and now bouncing.